Hey there! Welcome back to Reddit Dating, best channel for cheating stories. Make sure to like and subscribe the channel for more spicy stories. My father, 55 male, had an affair with my fiancée, 25 female. The death of my mother was caused by cancer 4 years ago, and my fiancé and I used to have dinner at his home on a daily basis. There was nothing unusual about it. He was depressed, but his mood had suddenly improved, and I was going to find out why that was the case. That is to say, after dinner, they approached me and told me that they wanted to talk with me, which astonished her father, and that they needed to tell me something that was unfamiliar to him. In the end, it turned out that they'd been together for more than 3 months, and I, being a dumbass, inquired as to how many times I began to hyperventilate at that point, and they were both adamant about not disclosing that information. I was able to put together the rest of the tale after some time. I'm not going to write it here because it's too painful, and I'm embarrassed that I asked. Then I stepped out the door and informed them both that they could take her if they wanted her, and that they were both welcome to stay with me. At that point, I stepped in and took care of it for her, returning her other keys in the process and letting her know she could come over after I was through packing her belongings for the move. When I was finished, she came over and gathered up her belongings. Her mother arrived and took possession of her possessions. She really instructed her mother to do so. When I let her in, she informed me that she had heard the whole tale and expressed her grief, as well as her hope that I would be able to get through this period successfully. My father and I think that my ex-fiancé has been texting and phoning me over the last week, and my father even went so far as to contact the police because he was scared that I might kill myself. I mean, thank you for being worried about my mental health, Dad. Perhaps you should have considered this before bringing in my girlfriend, but whatever the case, I appreciate your care. 2 police officers arrive at my door, informing me that they had gotten a call from my father, who was afraid that I was considering taking my own life. As soon as I explained what had transpired, they both looked humiliated and expressed apologies for having bothered me and the difficulties I was experiencing. It takes a while for them to go without saying anything. It made me feel even worse when the cops expressed sorrow for my predicament. I was ashamed to have to tell these 2 guys what had happened. I'm not sure what it was about feeling ashamed that made me feel that way. In any case, my father has asked that I talk with him directly. There is nothing I can do at this point, since I have no other relatives, no aunts or uncles, and no fiancé. I'm at a loss for what to do. In the meanwhile, I've kept myself occupied by going to the gym and basically attempting to lead a regular life as much as I can. However, my fiancé has returned to her parents' house, and she seems to be in communication with my father, since he constantly messaging me that she is concerned about me. He feels that I'm to fault because I'm treating her in this manner, and he is correct. So, yes, I'm the one who's trapped here, and I'm not sure what I'm meant to do with myself. Despite the fact that I plainly put an end to our relationship, there's my father who is now trying to fix things by begging with me to forgive her. In all honesty, all I want is for them to go away and leave me to my own devices. Update. Hello everyone, and thank you for taking the time to express yourself and provide ideas. While I had no expectation that my article would attract the kind of attention that it has, I merely wanted to offer an update on the current state of the issue. My health is in good shape, and that is the first and most essential thing to mention. In reality, I've gotten a good night's sleep the last several nights, and have received words of encouragement from unexpected places, due to the fact that my now ex-fiancé handled everything for me. I didn't have to go public and tell everyone about my relationship problems. She notified her best friend, expecting sympathy in return, but instead grew outraged at her, and now the bulk of her friends, as well as mine, are completely aware of what has transpired, as is her mother. I got a phone call from her closest friend, with whom I chatted for more than an hour during the course of the conversation. Apparently, any hatred I had against my now ex-fiancé was little in comparison to the abuse she had received from her and her circle of friends. The men have completely cut her off, and they have even inquired as to whether she has had sexual contact with any of their dads. She has not responded to their inquiries. She has also told me that her closest friend has maintained her belief that I would forgive her and that she desires to see me again, which is not going to happen. Her mental state at the present looks to be, shall we say, unstable, and she appears to be a complete and utter train disaster. Additionally, she has talked with her parents, who have been encouraged to give her some time and not to throw her out. Despite what she has done, I honestly do not want her to make the same mistakes she has made in the past, and her parents are probably much more furious with her than I am with her. The other day, I saw my father for the first time. We had a face-to-face talk, and the reason for our meeting was that I wanted to pick up some stuff from home, and I had brought a buddy with me in case I felt the need to hit him. Despite my friend's best efforts to engage in light conversation with the guy, he seemed to be expecting that I would attack him and was prepared to imprison me if this occurred. So that's the most recent development. Our phone conversation continues, and she is a nervous wreck after being dumped by all of her friends. Her BFF and I have become good friends. No, we are not sleeping together or anything like that. She has supported me and we have remained in touch. She had been cheated on herself, but she could not comprehend what I had gone through. Since receiving some of my mother's items, including her wedding ring and engagement ring, I have cut all ties with my father and have not spoken to him since. I told him he didn't have to fight and that he could have it, and I gave him my engagement ring as a present, as a thank you. Not expensive, and honestly I did not know what I was going to do with it anyways. After a few seconds of deliberation, I pushed him to stop telling her that I may forgive her since you are playing with her head, and she has to recognize it's done, and he responded by stating that he would not contact her in the future. When he asked whether he should contact her again, I told him I didn't care if he did. The moment I got in my vehicle and started driving away, I instantly felt better. So that's all I've got for you today, guys. While I may have gone too with the ring problem, the fact is that he has the right to propose to her and make her his wife if he so desires. The great support I've gotten from a diverse variety of sources, including this site, has given me the confidence to press forward. However, if you have any questions, please let me know, and I will try my best to answer them, particularly if anything is unclear. Update No. 1. After getting a deluge of questions regarding my health and whether or not anything has happened, I've chosen to provide one last report on my current position for your consideration. I'm doing okay. My father and ex-fiance haven't been in touch with me in any manner and have left me to fend for myself on my own. Despite the fact that I had periods of loneliness and wrath, I've also had people who have stood by me through those times. My ex-best fiance's friend and I have become close over the years, and we have decided to go on a trip together, despite the fact that we are no longer in a relationship. We aren't together anymore, but we have grown closer. Everyone anticipated my father and ex-fiance to be having conversations, and they have been spotted together around town, as has been reported to me. I had a nagging hunch something like this might happen, so I wasn't startled when it did. To be honest, it doesn't bother me since they're meant for one another, and I'm just thankful that it was found before I married her. Since the incident became public knowledge, Dad and her have lost a substantial section of their social circle as a consequence of it. After all, they must have realized that sadness does truly like company after having so many people express their dissatisfaction with them both. My other friends have also been informed that if they chose to contact her and communicate with her, that is completely okay to me. I don't want to impose power over anybody or make anyone feel as if they have to avoid her as a consequence of my actions or inactions. Therefore, I'm not going to do anything to make that happen. On the other hand, I'm not going to be a vindictive person who will just end up harming myself in the long term. Just to put it simply, things are going well. My therapy sessions are still being held regularly, and I built a great bond with the best friend of my ex-old girlfriend. I do suffer melancholy, fury, and loneliness from time to time, but I've learned to deal with it well through the years. On next weekend, I spent the whole weekend cleaning my apartment to remove the perfume fragrance from my ex-perfume fiance's belongings, which was a significant trigger for me. In addition, I acquired a new bed and a new couch, as well as redecorated a bit in my apartment. Having sold my old bed and old couch has given me the sensation of moving into a whole new apartment, or, to put it another way, a fresh start. Please accept my heartfelt thanks for everyone's advice, concerns, and remarks. They were quite helpful, and I needed to get it off my chest.